Tell me where to plug in.
Oh.
5:30. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Miss Christie, you ready? We'll get our work session underway then.
Good afternoon. Board members, tonight I passed out to you two extra documents. First of all, late Friday night, we did get our FY27 TISA preliminary estimate. It is our first estimate. I would just like to note on that this estimate for this year is only approximately 110,000 more than last year's total estimate, or final amount that we received in funding. And I say that because as we go into the budgeting stage, which is the second document that I passed out, which was the budget meeting dates, the initial ones, that we have lost some student numbers, approximately from the year before. I think there's 52. We're down 52 students. And when you look at that on the whole, those 52 students aren't just at one school. They're spread out across the county. And so when that occurs, you still have to provide all the teachers and all the support. You're not actually losing teachers. We know that this year we have to get to $50,000 for teacher salaries. And we are looking at some pretty hefty, from what we're hearing through the grapevine, and that is strictly grapevine talk between insurance people, that we're hearing there's going to be a substantial increase to medical insurance this coming year. Okay, so as we work through the budget stages, I do think it's going to be a very tight budget. I don't think there's going to be a lot of fringe benefits. Fortunately, we do have a healthy fund balance that if we need to do one-time expenditures out of, I think that's a safe place to do those, but not any rolling expenses that's on a returning or reoccurring. So just wanted to note that. Also on the back of the first preliminary estimate is last year's final allocation amount, so you can look at that and compare those. And again, the other document is the meeting dates for the budget committee to get together. Before we jump into the actual work session for the board meeting agenda, in your director's report, we talked about a couple different items. And one of the items that I wanted to allow Mr. Tompkins, Jason Tompkins, to speak to was the TMSAA possibility of joining. That's something that he and I have worked a lot on and spoke with Mr. Delk. And so I shared with you several communications from him. several bulleted points, and so I wanted him to be able to speak to you individually. I know some of you may have reached out to him. I've had some people reach out to me. So again, this is not an item on the agenda. This is strictly for your information, and we wanted to make sure everybody had it.
All right. I try to just bring fun things in front of you, and we're really not asking you to vote for anything. But when you have a large change in the athletics, potential change or no change, it's always something that you want to be informed of and not catching on the back end. So here's where we are. We have a middle school football program, a good one. We're building middle school football field. But we've been locked out of playing in any kind of conferences in Upper Cumberland because we're not Tennessee Middle School, TSSAA Middle School Associated. Now, we can play games. Anthony has been able to create a schedule for this fall. Basically, we're just playing one-off games with other conferences, but there's no way that we can play a playoff. Well, again, there's no conference play. We're just playing games, if that makes sense. This all happened beginning last year. They first locked us out. Then, when I say they, the Upper Cumberland Conference, who is basically Putnam, Cumberland, and White, our closest neighbors, to play. They started to block us out last year. They allowed us back in. And so we actually ended up playing for the championship. And, we thought things were rolling pretty well. And then in December, they contacted us, said, nope, they're not letting us play next year. We are not going to be part of the conference. So that was in December. You can see the dates on my emails. We immediately began to try to see what we needed to do to join the TSSAA Middle School Association. And so, long story short, here's how it's going to, this is kind of in a nutshell. If we join, our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders will be considered middle school, and they will have to play on 6th, 7th, and 8th grade teams. Okay, what that means is no 6th grade team. No. Let me back up. So, our football program is a cooperative program. It's built from 4 schools. In order to have a cooperative program, you've got to sign up your elementary schools and build the cooperative program from that. All right, you cannot play one sport and not all sports. So if you join the TSSAA Middle School Association, let's say Allert, Pine Haven, York, and South Fentress, then their basketball teams and volleyball teams have to fall under the TSSAA Middle School Association as well. And then you build out from there to create your cooperative programs, which right now would be football and baseball. So I tried my best to just build a team, a cooperative team, and not sign up our elementary schools because we're pretty happy the way we are. We've had a long-standing tradition, 4th grade, 6th grade, 8th grade ball. And honestly, I don't want to be the catalyst to say I'm making this change because I don't want to change things the way, we like things the way they are. We follow TSSAA middle school rules, but, we've been able to have our own autonomy. But our crush football team is not going to be part of a conference unless we become Tennessee Middle School Associated. So that puts us in a real pickle. I've tried to build a letter, and I hope you will look over it. And again, we're not asking you to vote. We just don't want you to not be aware of what's going on. And then also, kind of hoping someone from the board, or maybe a couple, would assist me in looking at this.
Let me interrupt and say, this has implications not just for crush football, but for all of our other sports teams as well. It also comes with more cost, more administrative duties to the school level as well. So we've looked at this from a lot of different angles. We've had a lot of questions submitted to us. I've spoke to other directors, some in the Upper Cumberland, some in East Tennessee. Long story short, joining the TMSAA does not guarantee us a playoff opportunity. So,
It's not.
so if you've read through some of the notes, you will probably see that we can re-argue our point, okay? So that's a lot of changes to make, and to make it in a speedy time. And whatever choice we make, and I've got an opinion of that, and would not care a bit to share it with any of you individually, we're going to have each other's backs on this, and we're going to have to be collective in it. Because, again, if we join collectively, what you're looking at is basically losing a basketball team for each of the elementary schools. So you're looking at 6th, 7th, and 8th grade being one team, 3rd, 4th, and 5th being one team. So you're eliminating a team. So again, it does have a potential that we all need to be on the same page, and that's why I asked Mr. Tompkins to come share with you, and we do hope that maybe one or two of you would like to join our team. And I know Mr. Anthony's been talking with us extensively, as well as Mr. Tompkins has turned around and shared with all the basketball coaches as well, and volleyball.
Question.
Yes.
Would the crush would it advantage them more, or would we be more trouble by losing the teams that she was talking about? I mean, what great advantages would it be to make the Orange Crush be able to play that? Because you're going to have kids that are going to participate in Orange Crush whether you're in it or not, right?
We will have teams. Okay. So, for instance, this fall, we're going to have, I think, 8 games. Is that correct, Anthony? Right now, we have 8 games. We are traveling. Let's see. We've got one in Watertown. We've got one in Rockwood. We've got one in Whitwell.
You're talking about the Orange Crush now.
Yep.
Purple.
The Purple
Purple
Crush.
I'm sorry.
Sadly,
So-
though, when he's discussing this travel and he's naming these places, we're expecting them to travel much farther in order to gain games than they get or they have had in the recent past years by being a part of a conference.
And they
Because
get,
we won't have anybody local.
right, and they get zero opportunity to play in a playoff game.
Correct.
They're going to play a season, they might go 10-0 or 8-0 or whatever, and then that's it.
That's
Correct. And we recognize that our Crush team is our feeder team to York Institute. And it's been longstanding tradition here within our county. I think if you consider the Bulldogs and the Crush.
So
As
when you
far
put
as
the
on your
basketball team on them 4th and 6th grade, then you're going to have.
And that's why I'm saying that we all need to be on the same page, because you may satisfy one group and make another group upset.
The downfall that I will say on the basketball side is a downfall and a not at the same time, because yes, you're cutting out a program, but you have the option to not cut a program in the event of, most schools will do like a 4th grade season or a 3rd, 4th grade, and then they do like a 5th grade season, but their 6th grade becomes their 8th grade B team.
Mhm.
So you end up with your middle school team and your middle school B team having games as well. So you end up with, we could not eliminate games, but we could be actually multiplying the number of games that our schools will be able to have, because those B teams will end up finding other 6th grade teams to play, but they won't be allowed to play any 5th graders. They will have to play 6th or some 7th on their 6th as a B team. So that's what we've experienced in the 8th grade play-in. I know I'm just in this as a parent besides just a board member, but that's what we've experienced as well. So for staff-wise, that could be very hard, because I know it's hard to get staff to work those games already. And so that's kind of your plus and your minus all in one, because staffing-wise it's going to be harder, but really those kids may not lose games. There won't be a 6th grade season, but there's going to be a middle school B team.
There may not. There's a lot of ways to
it
look at that.
depends on if that
There's-
coach is willing to put forth that effort too.
Yeah,
So-
and you're
'cause
looking at
'cause you're looking
teachers
at that many
working
more
games.
kids.
I mean, truly, we're not trying to hide anything here. We gave you all the communication. There's a lot of aspects behind this. It's not just the number of games. It's playoffs. It's a whole lot of aspects. We've even had people bring up making them one mega middle school team. I'm not in favor of that for basketball. I think Warren County did that at one time, and they have went back. So, again, lots of consideration is going in this, and we would like for a board member or two to join Jason in that endeavor. Mr. Chair, we have one volunteer right here, and I guess you probably need to add that to the agenda.
I look at it this way, Mr. Tompkins. Our student count's down, as we all know. I mean, our director just now told us that. And that cuts a budget dramatically. You know that. The priority is keeping teachers in the classroom. There's not a teacher I know of that I'd want to have to face, and I know Miss Hall wouldn't either, and say, I'm sorry, but we can't afford to keep you on next year. Anytime you get involved with T-double whatever, you're talking money. Now, we all agree with that, okay? So going from there, the priority is keeping our teachers in the classroom to educate our children. But we love to watch our basketball. I love 4th grade games. I think we need our 6th grade games, and we need our 8th grade games. Because we've all got memories of those. Those of you that were born here, I was just transplanted 47 years ago. And you know, basketball is a big thing. And that's not throwing off on watching the Dragons play on Friday night. But I just don't see us consolidating this county into one basketball team.
Oh, we aren't asking for
yeah,
that
we're
at
not-
all.
Well, even
no.
2 basketball teams.
We're not asking
And
for
are
that
you going
either.
to tell a 4th grader that they can't have their
No, I
team
think
anymore?
it was between, at
Yep.
each school individually.
Each school would stay individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as the cost, and I'm not promoting or demoting. The cost $300 a school. They would each school would have a portal.
To join
every-
that.
Yep, to join. You would fall under TSSAA rules, middle school rules, and you would have the protection as far as the insurance, what is the
The liability?
the catastrophic insurance that comes with that. Students would still, again, I sound like I'm promoting. I'm just trying to look at positives, not so much the negatives, because I can see the negatives as well. But students would still be able to be involved in a sport. And we wouldn't have to do it the way that I'm suggesting. Just in my mind, you kind of create a 6-8 team and a 3-5 team, and then you roll second graders down into like a little dribblers program, basically basic skills, something of that nature. Again, that's just my immediate thoughts. But all students that are currently playing 2 through 8 would still be able to be on teams. Again, it's just a way to ponder. We're not guaranteed a berth in the Upper Cumberland, as Miss Hall just told out. They're going to give me an audience in front of the ADs if we join the TSSAA middle school. But it's not guaranteed. However, East Tennessee has told Anthony that if we are joined by January 15th of next year, that they would probably take us. Am I correct? So we could get in it. More than likely, we could assure ourselves an East Tennessee conference if we join the TSSAA middle school. Again, these are nothing definite. Nothing. We might do all this work and still not be able to join a conference.
Why would they not let us join a conference? What's the deal with that?
The Upper Cumberland,
I'm just curious. I mean, that just sounds dumb.
partly, it's travel. So, right now they can pretty well build themselves a pretty strong little conference, Cumberland County, DeKalb, White, and Putnam, and not have to travel up here on the mountain. I mean, that's part of it, our area, our geographic area and travel. Outside of that, I don't know. We even asked them to revote just about 2 weeks ago. I asked them, please, revote that if we can get joined into the TSSAA middle school, give us another shot to join your group, your conference. And they said, we'll give you a way to speak your piece.
So, Mr. Chair, we'd like to, with the board's consent, add that to the agenda.
I
to
did.
see
I
if-
put it down at number 11, and you want 2 people to help you or 3?
2 would be great.
We need 2 volunteers off the board. We have 1 over here, so.
Jason, is it due to the size of our schools here? Is that what the problem is with going to the Upper Cumberland?
No,
Well,
they
it's like
just,
you said,
Are they
more
going to
the
wind up sending
outskirts
us
of the
toward
travel,
Chattanooga or someplace?
no, it's just, it was the ADs that vote, and each school down there has their own AD. Each middle school has their own AD. and they have a collective group. They wouldn't let me in the group because I'm not part of the TSSAA middle school. All I could do was petition the group. But they voted twice. We lost both times.
I told you TSS has got issues.
Actually, it's not the TSSAA. We've reached out to them. They have told us emphatically they are not requiring this. This is just this group of ADs in the Upper Cumberland that have made this decision.
You shouldn't have beat them so much when you went and played them. There you go.
Do they solely get that program?
We were really good last year.
So just be good. Stay on the mountain. That's all it sounds like.
There you go.
Now, what all district or county is that close to us?
That is Scott County, Scott County Road. So it's not terrible. That is, like I said, their first question, are you a member? I said, no, that was in the conversation. We were a member.
Yeah, true.
So another school that is dealing with this is Overton County. They're in the same boat, and they have chosen not to join. However, they were able to hook up with the, I want to say northern middle, Trousdale kind of be in the center. And so they were able to hook into that conference, but they didn't want us. We're too far. They don't want to travel that far to get to us. So, and Overton County actually tried to tag with us because they were dealing with the same thing with Upper Cumberland.
Thank you, Mr. Tompkins.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We don't know any more than we started this, so what? You confused us more here now.
I don't know, that won't violate the sunshine.
What kind of money are we talking?
Volunteer?
What
Any
kind of
other
money are we
volunteer?
talking about?
We have
For
our two
each school,
volunteers.
there's like a $300 fee. It's also based on numbers. I think Mr. Tompkins is the max. And then the coaches also have to pay, if you are basically certified employed, there's one fee for coaches that work for the system and another fee that's for coaches that are not employed by the system. And then, like I said, there's administrative duties where you have to go in, you have to verify the kids, they're playing your sports, that kind of stuff.
Will Mr. Tompkins be able to have those numbers as you all work on the budget?
So
Because if it comes
those
down to
costs
money, we
would
need
be-
to know that.
Those costs would be,
They're all on the front end.
they're on the front end, but they would be from each of the schools. The school, that would not be a district level expenditure, it would be a school level. So it would really have to be something, I'm assuming, Ms. Casey, from the restricted accounts of the sports teams, that part of their gate funds and that kind of stuff.
Raise their own money.
Yeah.
But the expenditures of travel and stuff, is that each school's worry, or
Each-
would that be the county's our worry, or?
Each school pays, like each team pays for their own travel. They get the gate. So Ms. Hall has done a really good job about helping our sports teams out. They take the gate, they split it between the boys, the girls, and the cheer. And so, you know, they've got pretty good little accounts right now.
Deal.
Yeah, she's done well with that.
I would contribute that to my school principals, advocating on their behalf.
No, that's the school.
School working it.
Any other
All right,
questions?
well, we got you a couple of volunteers here, so,
Who was the other one? Okay, good deal. Thank you.
all right, thank you.
So, looking at our board agenda tonight, it is a little bit light. The first one, of course, we also know coming up April, May, we'll probably have pretty hefty agendas, and we'll have some special called meetings. Item number 3 is the ISM budget amendment. Basically, we're cleaning up some payroll lines that maybe had a little extra money in it, and we are putting them into professional development and some equipment. I think the total amount was $1,900. Yeah, $1,900. Last board meeting, I told you we received 2 different grants. We approved one the last time. This is the Tennessee Tutor and Innovation Grant. We can work with students in grades K through 8 for ELA and grades 4 through 8 in math. And so this is a grant we're putting into place to support basically our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math and K4 ELA. It is $74,600. The brunt of this is salaries for the tutors. Those will be some of our regular classroom teachers before school and after school, as well as some of our retired teachers that are coming to work during the school day. Also, we have a master tutors in there, which will help support each of the tutors and help them through learn walks and, any type of support that they might need to coach them up to be the best tutor they can be. Item number 5, I'm going to ask Ms. Casey to come up and speak to, but it is a historic liability resolution. So since I have been here, one of the audit findings from the comptroller here at local government is that our liabilities have not been basically reconciled. And so there's been some outstanding amounts there. And I'll kind of let her explain the process of chasing those liabilities to try to find where they're at. But basically, we have worked with the auditors, and the auditors has said you have made as much effort as possible that you can to track these liabilities. And so based on that, we know that 4 or 5 years ago, you're not able to track that money down. And so we're going to allow you to write it off. And so, Ms. Casey, if you'll kind of explain that.
So in accounting, it's not unusual at year end to have some balances to write off. That has not happened in these liabilities for several years. I can say with 100% confidence that myself and Mr. Phillips here has kind of taken on that as a project. We have done complete due diligence. Every dollar that is identifiable, we have identified and either refunded that employee. And these are just so old, there is no identifying them. It also allows us to draw that line, and we have a much better process in place now. We're making great progress, but we still have these ugly balances. So it allows us to draw that line, have a clean slate. We are doing much, much better now, better processes in place. This covers 141 and 143, which 141 is our general purpose fund. 143 is our food nutrition fund. 142 is a little bit different because they deal directly with the state on that. So there's a few of these similar historic liabilities that we're getting guidance from the Department of Education on how to clear. But this, after much work, this does have the auditor's blessing. It requires board approval, and then it will go to the commission. And again, it basically just gives us that clean slate to start working from.
And that will allow that year-end reconciliation of liabilities so that it doesn't get in the shape it is now, where it's multiple years that we can't track. And it's at the end of every single year that these liabilities are being reconciled.
And I'm pretty sure these have been on there since 2018.
At least.
More than
Yeah.
likely.
Yeah.
I think so.
So what happens to that where you can't track it?
So that would, each fund is listed there, each liability, it will roll into fund balance. Yeah, the net of that will go into each fund's fund balance.
And that way it'll take away from that audit finding that we keep getting every year.
Right,
Yeah.
we're very hopeful that the work on this will get that audit finding out of here.
And truly, Ms. Casey and Justin, the Finance Department should be commended for the work. They have put a tremendous amount of work and hours into it, I know, to the point of wanting to pull their hair out on most days. So just to get to this point, as we've sit down and we had exit audits and stuff, and to be able to say we're at a place that the auditors feel comfortable with us writing it off, we're truly excited about that. So I do hope that is something that you will approve tonight.
I don't see too much gray hair yet, so.
Oh, it's
She's
there.
good to go.
It's there. And I will say
Thank
we're
goodness
still
for
working. Dental and vision. You may see another similar resolution whenever we're to the point. We've got 2 more in dental and vision liabilities. A little bit harder to
I
track.
do have a question for you.
Sure.
When we get to a 0, okay, everything's clean and we're all starting out fresh, would that allow us not to have to move money from one place to the other? It seems like we have a budget, okay, a good, working, solid budget, but then it's constantly, every meeting, we're borrowing from somebody and putting somewhere else.
And
Should that
that's-
help with that, so that we can operate within the
No.
budget that we set?
It's really two different things. So
It is, okay.
this is just where we collect medical insurance, and the liability is the account we throw it in until we pay the bill. So any discrepancy there, if we collected too little or we collected too much, that account bears that. Our budget is just our game plan, our best guess of what we're going to spend. We've done a really good job, I think, in the last several years of, it's going to happen. I will probably promise you it's going to happen every meeting. We're going to have some type of movement within that budget. But we've never had to, it's not the end of the world if you have to go into fund balance and pull some money out mid-year. But that's one of our goals is to make that budget where our best estimates are that it is
We have to
covered.
live within that budget. Yeah.
Right.
But if you
right.
have extra, I know Mr. Tompkins would appreciate it.
I know a lot of people that would
Appreciate
appreciate
it.
any extra.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's just
But
kind of
that's a
hard.
good
We have to
question.
make our budget and get it solid before
But
the
every-
state even tells us what we can spend, so I
That's
mean.
an excellent point.
But
And
every-
it's a best guess.
Every fund has budget amendments every month. So, that's completely normal, like the county has them, the highway has them.
Yeah.
That's just one of those things, like you said, you do like your best guesstimate, and then you just kind of have to shuffle
And then
money
real
around,
life
so.
happens and you adjust.
The convenience of you being in the position that you were in before, though, is you've seen it from both sides.
You know, what it comes down to is when you're doing a budget, you're guessing a year ahead. And the best example I can use on trying to do that is the price of gasoline. If you have a personal budget at home and you're going to budget this much for gasoline this year, okay, what if gas goes up $1 a gallon? There goes your budget. There's so many things, and teacher training changes. The state may require a different training to teachers, and then you've got to pay for the in-service. And if they want make you send them to Nashville, what are those hotels now? $250 a night.
You're lucky.
So I
If
mean,
you're lucky.
there's so many variables. And I remember what was that guy's name? Jimmy Wheely, that was vocational director down there in Red Boiling. He said you're trying to use 2-year-old data to guess a year ahead.
That's true.
And that's basically what this is. That's why the state legally allows for a budget minimum, is because they know that you're going to have to change. Things change and expenses change, so you have to.
Well, and we do it monthly because you don't want to wait to the end of the year, and then you have all of these funds, and it looks like we really didn't know what we were doing. So you do it monthly just to try to even that out and show everybody the money exactly that month that you need to make it right.
And I'll use the food service budget. I think that budget amendment came through last time. We had budgeted a 10% increase in our food cost for inflation. Nowhere near enough. Nowhere close. So hopefully when you're doing that, you can see other lines that maybe are coming in under, and you can move that within.
I think
You know,
insurance is another great example of
Insurance
that
is a
moving
total
target.
Or insurance is going up.
Well, I
Yeah.
appreciate this. I think that's what people at home that are listening now, they wonder about why we keep transferring money and things, and they need to hear this, and I appreciate that. I appreciate all your statements. Thank you.
Hard to hit a moving target in the budget.
The next item,
Thank you.
Thank you.
item number 6, is we are asking for an executive committee to approve some change orders at the YES multipurpose field. So that contract did not allow for contingency. So basically, I spoke with Mr. Arms about this. What we had set aside for our portion of that, we set aside $150,000, and right now we've spent $98,000. The county also contributed $100,000. So we've run into some things. I put in your director's report a confidential email with some information, some of the things that we've run into so far. So what we're asking the board for is for the executive committee to be able to approve any change orders to the YES multipurpose field up to that $50,000 that we had set aside in our original budget for that project. Okay? Are there any questions about that? Again, I gave you a confidential email that said what some of those issues were that have come up already. He also included in that some solutions to each of those. So,
Okay, one of those issues in there was the fact that he'd have to have a field representative come up, and that would be at the discretion of the board if we had him to send somebody up here, and the cost estimate on that was like $125 an hour plus mileage or something. It said 115 to 125. I thought that was a little extravagant, so I called Ryan Reed, the road superintendent, and asked him if he'd be willing to oversee the project, and he said he would, as long as he had the plans and specs. So I coordinated that between him and Tom Bennett. Tom's supposed to get a hold of him today, so he'll be willing to go ahead and take on that project as far as overseeing it. And so that cost, we won't incur that cost.
any other questions on that one? Along with that, item number 7 is the executive committee approval for the IES lighting project bid. That bid is due to open March the 11th, so I believe that's next week. And again, board policy is that we accept the lowest bid. We will bring that back to you with copies of who all submitted bids, but we would like to ask for the executive committee to approve that, just so that we're not 2-3 weeks behind in starting to get materials ordered and stuff, so that we can get on with the lighting project.
Well, I would think, this is my opinion, of course, but when you all open bids like that, I know the lowest bid is always, saves money, maybe. So, use discretion. I think we need to use discretion when you all do that.
When you allow the executive committee to do it, if there's something fishy or don't look right, you'll be hearing from her too on all this stuff.
If you don't care, I want to step back to number 6 again for just a brief moment. I've read over this quite a bit because it's an area that I'm not familiar with, and I want to say this. I've never had any dealings. What's it called, with Mr. Bennett, but I am impressed with the letter that he sent out. He seems very forthright and honest in what he's saying. For the ELA teachers here, they know about writing with a hook. You need to put a hook in your writing. And what caught my attention was there could also be change order items for this work, which I don't know yet. And that's very honest, which causes me concerns. We may be pounding sand down a rat hole. How big is this going to get? And at what point do we stop until we can, we are looking at a shortfall. Okay, I want to keep people working. That's the main thing in my mind, and keep our kids educated. It's all of our minds. But he's being honest. We're running into things that most of us have never heard of before, and those cost a lot of money. Okay? I just feel like we need to be very cautious.
Well, most of it, whenever you bid a project, you send it out with the plans and specs. It's left up to the contractor that's going to bid on that project to do their due diligence, to make sure there's unknowns in any project you do, like the things that he pointed out there, like the little problem there with the septic tank, that was unknown. Nobody knew that was there. That's not going to be a big issue. They just put riprap in it or whatever gravel, and they go on with that. The water line,
Cost.
that's not going to be a lot of cost, but the bottom line is we have 150 appropriated for that project, and we're not asking to go beyond that. And I think from what I've looked at over the last week and a half, that we're going to be well below that once they get done. At this point, I don't foresee any major issues going on beyond that.
Anything else? The sooner they get done, the quicker you can get started on some grant money to help
Well,
do other things.
we're already looking for that now.
Yeah,
so
I'm waiting on that.
we're already looking for that now. So.
Everything else is pretty straightforward. I think we're ready to call it to order.
There is one thing.
Say,
There's a piece of old business.
Darlene wants to talk about
And this
something
is a
before we get-
happy piece of old business. First of all, I'm very proud and want to give the Lord the credit that Executive Jimmy Johnson has come through his stent surgery. He's doing well. I think I saw him a few minutes ago. Didn't even know there's anything wrong with him. But he's doing well. So we had a conversation month before last. I didn't get to be here last month. And he asked me, he said, when are you all going to accept that softball field out there? He has already called TSSAA. I said, well, no, we got to move a fence and this, that, and there. He said, no, you don't. He said, it's ready to go. What is it, Title IX? It's had some issues with them not having, okay. That will take care of it. He said, we want to, and there was a county commissioner in the office with him. He said, we want you all to take that over. The only thing we're asking is that you take care of having it cleaned up after all the ball games. He said, you've got a concession stand, you've got seating, you got parking. Y'all know what kind of park that is out there. It's wonderful. Families can come. We'll probably get more people at the gate because of the kind of park it is. They'll come and watch the ball games. But anyway, while we are under our current administration, that is something that they want to gift to our Clark Range High School softball team,
So,
is the use of that softball field.
so are we talking
we-
about the South Fentress Park softball field?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we need to get something
I-
brought up in writing for stuff like that to
I hate
help
to
us with
disagree.
this Title IX?
I hate to disagree, but, and I will defer to our school board attorney. I think we still, if anybody wants to push it, have a Title IX issue. And we shared with you all a couple of years ago, and we can resort back to them, similar cases in both Sevierville and Oak Ridge City Schools, where the courts sided with the plaintiff, basically in these cases, because, for instance, in Sevierville, the teams were playing, softball teams were playing a mile and a half down the road at a city park. They are now building, or have already built, a softball field because they were found to be not in compliance with Title IX because their kids were having to leave their facility to drive. Last year, we did do work on South Fentress as baseball field, or softball field, put some new fencing around it. I think one of the problems, and maybe Mr. Bradley can speak, and I know he wasn't principal in the past, it's very hard to charge a fee at the park because you have people coming in just to utilize the park. So to say that's a person actually coming to the baseball game or softball game, it's very hard to enforce, okay? And again, Mr. Wright, I'll defer to you.
We've actually had this discussion different times. It's just not, it's better, maybe it's good circumstance, it's just not really good. There's case law.
Well, if that's the case, then if we moved it to the elementary, that wouldn't serve it either, would it?
Correct.
Because we're leaving the
Correct.
facility.
Hence the acquisition of the land or looking at another solution that we've just come up with in the last week. Mhm. And I'm truly grateful that the county has been very, they've accommodated us and allowed us to play there before. And so we've got a good relationship with them. But at the end of the day, I don't believe it's going to meet the requirements under Title IX if someone chooses to seek that.
Is there no way that we can check that before we have to spend all the money we're going to have to spend to have a facility that nice?
What do you check? That's all right now.
In other words, if you leave the facility, there's no questions about it. I mean, it's, the court's done ruled on it.
For one sex over the other, then it's not. Because they're saying that because the boys' baseball team is there, that it's not fair if the girls have to leave and travel off somewhere else. Someone could get sued because they're having,
Have we
it's
been
not
sued?
fair.
I mean, are we being sued
not
now?
yet.
No, we're not being sued now, I would have told you to. I don't disagree with you, it seems reasonable. Christy and I both thought it was
I just want the best for the girls, and that's such a nice place.
We read these, legal opinions, they were written by judges in terms of legal, and they were identical to what we were about to do, or what we were discussing. So there's just no point in spending any resources. Not gonna get the issue either.
Okay.
I wish you would.
Yeah, that'd be too sweet, wouldn't it?
It would be lovely for the girls.
Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss before we? Ms. Christie,
I'm good.
if y'all are ready, we'll begin the meeting. The meeting will come to order. In your packet, you have the minutes there. Is there any changes or corrections you need? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept them as are. As is, as are. All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion carried. You have your director's report and your financial report. Is there any questions on any of those? All righty, do we have anyone on our public comment letter? No one on the letter. All right, number 3 is your budget amendment for $1,912.90.
Make that motion.
That's an ISM budget. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Number 4, you're tutoring a grant for $74,600.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion about it? We better roll call that, and that's new money, isn't it?
Yes.
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 8 for, none against. Motion carried. Number 5, your historic liability resolution for 2026.
Make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion carried. Number 6, your executive committee approval for the change orders at YES multipurpose field not to exceed $50,000.
Make that motion.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion
Aye.
carried. Number 7, your executive committee approval for the AES lighting project bid opening March 11th.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. And like I said in the work session, if there's anything on any of these we ever open that Miss Christie opens that she doesn't like, she'll be contacting us. So we won't buy a pig in the poke maybe. All right, number 8, your resolution honoring Special Area Teachers Appreciation Day.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion second. All those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion carried. Number 9, our out-of-state trip for YES 3rd grade, May 8th for 2026 to Richmond, Kentucky.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion carried. Number 10, your out-of-state trip for CHS basketball, April 16th, 2026 to Cumberland, Kentucky.
I'll make that
Cumberland
motion.
County,
I'll
Kentucky.
second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion carried. Number 11 on there, I put number 11 as volunteers to help Mr. Thompson. Or Tompkins. And we had 2 volunteers. I guess we could put that in the form of a motion. Do we need him one or just?
Yeah, but it needs to be not us making this.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion and a second, and Miss Garrett? What? I mean, Miss Sierra. I heard you say something. Miss Sierra, those are the 2 volunteers. All those you have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise. Motion carried. And we already talked about the softball field. Meeting for April.
Is on April the 6th.
What?
April the 6th.
And do we have a work session before that?
No, we've got 2 budget meetings before that. The last one is on April the 1st, which is a few days before. We may have to go over April 1st or April 6th in the budgeting process. So we wanted to get our committee together, see how far we got, and then develop dates with them. So no. We passed them
Nice
around.
letter you got.
Yes, I think the first one is March the 11th at 4:30, and then we have one at April the 1st at 4:30. And if you didn't get a paper, Ms. Darlene, I've got an extra one.
She got
Okay.
And also, I may not be able to make those on account of being out on the road, so if I can, I will be, and Miss Felicia will take over if I'm not.
Maybe.
All righty, and any other business needs to come before us? If not, I'll entertain a motion. We adjourn.
I'll
Have a
second.
motion and a second. There'll be no discussion, I guess. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed likewise, motion carried. We are adjourned. It's hot in here. Burning up this.
Hot in here and cold outside. They
Quit laying around like this, but